is Shraddha. Shraddha. Having faith in the spiritual master is Shraddha. So there are multiple things in which we should have Shraddha. So this is the basics. This is the beginning. When one has faith in spiritual master, when one has a faith in the process of Bhakti Yoga, then this is the beginning, this is the birth. And we mentioned about one day when you see some devotees, some exalted devotees doing some spiritual activities, then there is a respect comes from your heart. That is also Shraddha. When we have a respectful attitude towards those devotees who are practicing, those devotees, the practicing the limbs of devotional service. Maybe you saw some Rath Yatra, maybe you saw some Sankirtan, maybe you saw some food for life. So as soon as you saw and have a respect in your heart, that is the Shraddha in the Bhakti Yoga. It's the Shraddha. So it's like Shraddha is how do you see, Sadhu Sang is how do you act, Bhajan Kriya is how do you do, and Anartha Nivritti, how do you eradicate now? How do you think also? Like Shraddha means how do you think? How do you think is Shraddha. And when it comes to Sadhu Sang, how do you act? That is Sadhu Sangha. Bhajan Kriya is how do you do now? How you are doing the Bhajan Kriya. And how do you eradicate? That is Anartha Nivritti. So these are the four major initial stages for any sadhaka on the path of spiritual life. And after that, Nishtha is like something which is a transition stage where you will become steadiness. Then it's like fixed up. After that, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav and Prem, they are like, just suppose you are riding a bicycle, in the morning we were walking here. So when you go on an uphill, it takes a lot of energy. That's like Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha. It takes a lot of energy, the beginning years of Krishna consciousness. But as soon as you reach to the plateau type thing, this is like Nishtha. And when you go to the downhill, then it becomes very easy. The process becomes very easy. Like it's not that you're falling down. A sense over there is that you don't have to put more efforts. You don't have to put more efforts. And then the Asakti, Ruchi, Bhav and Prema, they are like very easy going things. So you will grow on this path very fast. But maximum energy of a sadhaka goes in the beginning years. And there is no such kind of an answer to this question if you ask me, Prabhu, how much time it will take to come to Shraddha or Sadhu Sangha? No. So you can come in 1 year. That's why I was showing you one day one clip to some devotee that someone asked Prabhupada, how much time it takes to become Krishna conscious? Prabhupada said, 1 minute. 1 minute, like this. Eyes are also like 1 minute. Why 1 minute? Yes, depending on the strength or the sincerity on the devotional part. So he can generate love or he can cross all these things. So that's why the Acharyas were so honest to tell us the details of these processes. So yesterday we discussed about how you should act with the sadhu sang, like dealing, taking care and accepting the feedback. All these things were there in the sadhu sang. So how do you do sadhu sangha? So there are two categories of sadhu sangha we discussed. One is Atranga sangha, one is Bahiranga sangha. Bahiranga sangha is like physical association of some sadhus. So servant can be present or we can be present in the physical association of spiritual master. That is called Bahiranga sangha, external sangha, external physical sangha. But there is an internal sangha. So internal sangha means when you associate with him, then his desires becomes your desires. That's what happens when we hear from the spiritual master or Prabhupada or any Acharya or any sadhu jan, Vaishnava jan, Guru jan. So when they speak about Krishna or when they speak about preaching, they speak about book distribution or any other service, the love they have for that service, that transfers to your heart. And you receive it by heart also. You also receive it by heart and you accepted it. And this generally comes from the spiritual master or your Shiksha Gurus. So you receive that desire very by heart and you are convinced by this that yes, it is to be done in this world. This is called like you have done sadhu sangha. You have really taken association. Like normal material example, I think we discussed about it. When a drunkard he associates with other. He gives his desire to drink this wine. So he has shifted his desire. That's the same thing when we meet spiritual master. So spiritual master speaks about something, or you hear some Krishna Katha from someone, and this becomes your desire. That's called you have done sadhu sangha. And then in practical terms we discuss like how to receive devotees, how to deal with devotees, and all these things. This is called sadhu sangha. Now comes when you deal with now this sadhu, so sadhu mercifully seeing your sincerity that you have a desire, and by his karuna he feels that let me give him the best gift of this whole creation by which he can generate his love for the Lord. So that is his karuna. That is his karuna shakti. When he sees sadhaka, when he is dealing very nicely, that is the time when the spiritual master or Vaishnava Jan, they became happy and they award him the process by which now he can practice and generate love for Krishna. That is known as Diksha. Diksha. Di means giving, Cha means removing ignorance. So this is the time when the mantra is given to the sadhaka. That is, then you receive this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in an official authorized way. You can ask this question, Prabhu, we are chanting before this also, then what is the difference between that? Yeah, by the time you are preparing your heart, it's like, you know, in the fields they prepare this line, they clear the weeds here and there, they plow the field very nicely, and then seed comes. So seed comes is like Diksha, or the faith in the spiritual master, not the yajna I'm talking about. Diksha is an event. Diksha is a process, not an event. So from the day one when you start feeling some Shraddha in that Vaishnava, so this is the time the seed has started going on. Now to represent this, we may be doing some ceremony. So when sadhu gives this mantra, before that we we prepare our heart so that the seed can come here. Otherwise, if you, just like we were there in that field in our new land, so it's not that if you spread the seeds here and there, they will grow. No, you need to prepare field properly. You need to safeguard it also sometimes. You need to nourish it, or you may be fertile it nicely. So that's the job. Jiva does before it. And then spiritual master invests potency in this, by which the seed goes and this Bhakti Lata beach grows now. Okay. Now when the process is been given, holy name is been given, now the sadhaka will practice something. He will chant, he will do something. So I'm going to read some part of it, which is from again the Madhurya Kadamni, and this is very relevant for all of us. Yeah. Pure Bhakti unmixed with karma and jnana is like wish fulfilling creeper appearing in the fields of the senses. This Bhakti is a refusee of those devotees who firmly vow dridvrita, never to seek any fruits except Bhakti. Like these Madhuvrita, who are obsessed with the desire to taste only nectar. So here the comparison has been done with the sadhaka, who is like Madhu, who is always looking for the nectar. Means by the bhakti you can get karma and you can get jnana, or you can get your desires also fulfilled. But this is not the vision of a pure sadhaka. The very life of this creeper is favorable attitude for the service for the pleasure of the Lord. Like a touchstone, very presence of the bhakti makes the heart and senses gradually lose their iron-like material qualities and acquire pure golden spiritual qualities. As a sprouting creeper grows upwards and unfurls two leaves, in the process of sadhana bhakti, two qualities make their appearance. The first is called kleshagni and second is called shuddha. So one day on the Saturday, I think Sunday we discussed about the sadhan bhakti, bhava bhakti and prema bhakti. So these are the three levels of bhakti. So in the sadhan bhakti, there are two qualities which will come when you will practice sadhan bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga Swadma bhakti. So when you will even practice Vaidhi Bhakti and Ragava Sadhana Bhakti, so there will be two qualities. What are they? You can remember it, memorize it. Klesha Agni and Shuddha. And Chakravarti Pad compare it to the, like creeper is there, then there are two leaves. So one is known as Klesha Agni, one is known as Shuddha. Now, interestingly, so these are the two leaves, Klesha Agni and Shuddha. Klesha means distress or stress. Agni means burnt out. Like, oh, you will feel when you will practice sadhana bhakti that the stress from your life is going away. So that's called klesha agni. There are three types of kleshas now. The klesha which comes through the body, the klesha which comes through your mind, or klesha which comes through other living entities. So you will feel that your mind and body are giving you not so many problems. I'm not saying that they will go over, but at least they will be reduced. So this is known as klesha agni. And Shuddha means auspiciousness. The auspiciousness will come in the life. You know auspiciousness means Mangal will appear in the life. Auspiciousness, good things will happen, start coming. And interestingly, the surface of these two leaves, now yesterday we were talking about the Rag Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti. So, you know, in the leaves, the upper side of the leaf is very smooth and the bottom side is a bit rough. So Chakravarti Pad compares upper side to be the Rag Bhakti and the bottom side is to be the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Yeah. And lower surface is the domain of another king called Vaidhi Bhakti, being in a comparatively lower position. This is because its character has a tinge of roughness, being separated from obedience to the scriptures, rules, and spontaneous deep affection for the Lord is lacking due to the absence of intimate relationship with Him. Yeah. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it said, I should be worshipped. However, both the Rag and equally manifest the symptoms of Klesha and Shuddha. So Klesha and Shuddha will come by both the devotional service, by the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti or Sadhana Bhakti, Rag Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti. They both will produce Klesha, Agni and Shuddha. These two qualities will come. But yes, the definition of a Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is that when the Rag is not there, then one performs, when one needs a push from the Shastras or some authority or some spiritual master. That is the time when one follows it. So gradually one will produce the Rag and he will get into this thing. Okay. So now I want to address this thing. Yeah. Next come Bhajan Kriya. Okay? Alright. However, first the prospective devotee develops Shraddha or faith. Shraddha means to have firm trust in the import of the scriptures dealing with bhakti. That's what we discussed. Like, what does it mean? Shraddha means to have firm trust in the import of the scriptures dealing with bhakti. Like in the Shastras devotees, in even Vedas also, there is a description about karma, karma, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, and bhakti yoga also. It's like when you make halwa. You know, in halwa sometimes they put raisins. So raisins are not everywhere. They are somewhere like. You've been scattered here. You've been spread this like this. So similarly, Vedas talks about a lot of things, but these raisins are compared to the bhakti yoga. So in the Vedas you can find bhakti, but it's not that abundant. Can you understand this analogy? So description of bhakti yoga will not come so often. That's why in our Shastras there is a description about Karma, there is a description about Jnana, there is a description about Karma Yoga and all these things. Narottam Das Thakur, that's why I say Karma, Jnana, Kevala Vishera Bhand. So what does it mean? Like, because Vedas are like mother, and mother caters every kind or every type of children. So when the sadhaka want to approach by some desires, like heavenly planet desires, or at least some financial desires and all, So one way of cutting this is that okay, we are just looking for the Shuddha Bhaktas, or we are just looking for those people who want to generate love for Krishna. But Shastra does not do that. Shastra offers some steps to them also. Those who have desire, they want to approach God, but they have a lot of desires right now. So that time Shastras offer this platform of Karma Kand. Similarly, when one does Karma Kand and one goes to the heavenly planets and he exhausts his Punya Karma, he goes down and then Pap Karma, and like this, when he rotates, he realizes at one point of time that why I am suffering in this planet. So this is the time when he goes for the Karma Yoga. He goes for the, what it was before it? What was the stage before Karma Yoga? Speak loudly. I know you speak loudly. What is the stage before Karma Yoga? What was the first stage when I mentioned who goes to the heavenly planets? Huh? Jnani goes to the heavenly planets. Who told? Who goes to the heavenly planets? Yeah, Karma Kandi. The first stage is? Second one is? Just recently you said. From Karma Kand, person will go to which stage? Loudly. From Karma Kand to which stage? Karma Yoga. These two simple stages. Karma Kand and? So what is Karma Kand? Yeah, what is Karma Kand? Ritualistic, but what is the desire? Fruitive desires. And what is the goal? No, moksha is not the goal of Karma Kand. Yeah, go to the heavenly planets and they will worship demigods. That's called. Now, what is the issue with the Karma Kand section and why Vedas describe Karma Kand in the Shastras? Why Vedas describe Karma Kand then if it is not the highest?
Because all people don't want to go highest. Many people different mind, their consciousness.
Yeah.
So it is described.
Understood? So not everyone is ready. So just like for example, children are there in the home, they don't want to take medicine. So what mother does, she put the coating of sugar on the medicine. So now medicine can be taken. So similarly, Shastra sees that okay, these guys have some desires for wealth and women, so or to enjoy facility. So then Shastra says that okay, you do worship of the demigods, you will get results, you will get punya karma, and then by that punya karma you can go to heavens. And in this life also you can get wealth and all these things. So perform yajnas, demigod yajnas, worshipper of the demigods. And now they will get this, they will do this. So after doing it, going to the heaven, enjoying the raisins, drinking wine, and in the heavenly planets there are no disease and old age. Wow. There is only birth and death. So you just appear there, you enjoy your karma and comes back. And the path karma if you have, then you go to the hellish planets. There are a lot of planets into that. So then you go and come back. And like this, you rotate yourself into multiple living entities and then fortunately you get human form of life. So after living and doing all these kind of things for many lives, enjoying and all these things, one comes to, Jiva gets some intelligence here now. After rotating and traveling so much, what is that intelligence he will get? What should be the intelligence he should come up when he has traveled to the heavenly planets going to the down planets. So what should trigger in his mind which will help him to think something higher now? Think.
Why he is suffering?
He's enjoying.
Heaven is not the highest.
What is this the highest?
I said, you will think heavenly plan is not the highest. There is something higher than that.
Yeah, very good. Explain a bit more. Suffering. How is suffering? How Karamkand is suffering? It's enjoyment. You're going to heaven, drinking wine, enjoying with apsaras, heavenly dozens, have fun with them. And there's no concept of virginity over there. Wow. So why to give up Karamkand? Why it is suffering?
Because it's totally temporary.
It is. What is?
Temporary.
Is it temporary? Very good. Okay, that's a temporary. What else? Why Karamkand is suffering? It's temporary, but still temporarily happy somewhere.
Entanglement.
Yeah, entanglement. How he is getting entangled here?
Repeated cycle of
Yeah, very good. Now you hit the answer. The Karamkand person will realize that I'm still getting tribulation and issues that I have. It's not that easy to do yajna also. That to do yajna you need to take human form of life, and to do human form of life still lot of pious activities, punya karma need to be done. Then you will take human form of life, and in this human form of life, then still again there is a birth kind of concept which is problematic. Then there is a disease, then there is a old age, and then there is a death, and every time he is just exhausting and coming back. Is there any bank or where it can be eternal thing? Now this triggers this called realization. The realization raises after enjoying so much opulence, so much facilities only, when the person thinks that he comes to the at least level from the demigods to the Lord, because he sees the temporariness and the cycle which is rotating here and there. He comes to this realization that I want to connect with Lord, but at the same time he has desires in his heart. He can't give up his business, he can't give his job, he can't give up his things, his enjoying mentality, but at the same time now he has come up to the point that he wants to connect with Lord, who can give permanent answer or permanent asset. That is the time when one shifts from Karamkand activities to the Karma Yoga activities. Now in the Karma Yoga there are two things. One is Sakam Karma Yoga, one is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Sakam Karma Yoga means you are attached to your activity and you give some benefit or some result of your activities to the Lord. Like you have some business of shoes, then you earned a lot and you thought like, okay, I will give 30% profit to the Lord's service. That is called Sakam Karma Yoga. Nishkam Karma Yoga means you are still attached to the activity, that I can't give up my business. I love to do it. I love to go to industry and do job and all these things, or any activity you want to do it. You do it, Nishkam Karma Yoga, but you offer all the results to the Lord. But still you are attached to the activity. Still attached to the activity. Now this Karam Kand and Karam Yoga, now you can, these are the technical Karam Yoga and Karam Kand. It may be difficult to understand. Now let me make you understand how Karam Kand and Karam Yoga works in Krishna consciousness. When you act in Krishna consciousness. So Karam Kand means, in Krishna consciousness means that you are, just take simple example of worship. You are worshipping but as a matter of ritual. With no affection, no devotion, nothing. You are singing, no affection, no devotion, just mechanical, basically mechanical. Karam Kand means mechanical, there is no thought behind it. So that's what is happening. That's called Karam Kand in Krishna consciousness. Or maybe singing, like sometimes people sing, na? But there is no mind only in singing. There is a fashion, or there is a way you want to attract others. You may be worshipping, but you are worshipping, but you have a desire to get fame. So that, oh, he's a good pujari or something else, or he's a good cook. So there is an element of like desire to go to heavenly planets is the facility, enjoying the facility. This is the same thing happens. Or you can say desire for a position also. That is also again comes in this karma. Just like someone wants to go to heavenly planets, have a position. Have a position. This is the same thing in our movement. It can happen like person wants to become this on this position. Today I am this. Tomorrow I will be this. Tomorrow I will be this. That's the desire for the position. That's the same karma kand is happening. Mentality. It's a mentality basically. Karma kand is a mentality. Okay, now you understood karma kand, how it is mechanical. It has no devotion, no part. Now person over the years he realizes that purifies by chanting, by doing worship itself, when the thing is doing. Then comes karma yoga, where the devotee, where this sadhaka, he comes to this platform when I said that sakam or niskam, that he is attached to one service, that you just give me deity worship. I don't want to do any other service. That's called attachment to any particular service. If he has been asked that Prabhu, can you do cleaning? Then he will say, no, I'm pujari only, or I'm cook only, or I'm this only. So this is the attachment to the service. And rest of the some of the, like he will be attached to the activity and detachment from the result. Like detachment from the result, that he will be working for the Lord. Now there are again two categories which I said, that some percentage he will give to the Lord, and gradually over the year he will realize that he is attached to the service, and rest of the result he will give to the Lord only. So that's the situation happens in one of the stages when one is just attached to his own service. Like this is the definition of pure devotional service, when a sadhaka is ready to do any service. Okay, today cooking, tomorrow worship, and day after tomorrow cleaning, tomorrow after that tomorrow maybe in the management. So he does it as a service to the Lord. He is not attached to the activity. He is not attached to the activity here. And he may be doing it, yes, like, but he wants that people should appreciate it. So that recognition factor is still running in the heart. So when one gets rid of this karma kand and karma yoga, then goes to the jnana yoga. That's the next level. Is it technical or able to understand this? This is what I am explaining is the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. These are just first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And you people are carrying Bhagavatam. And yesterday night we discussed Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, basically it's a mentality like. Then comes Jnana Yoga. Now Jnana Yoga, the person, he realizes after doing the Karma Yoga also, because he got detached from these results and he was just attached to the activity, then he realizes that why I am also attached to the activity only, because due to this activity I am getting reactions in this world. So these are the people who go to the Jnanis, Haridwar, Rishikesh, in these kind of places where they just study or speculate the Shastras. And they know this thing that we are not this body, we are soul. So they don't want to engage this body in the material activity. They renounce it. They renounce it. And the goal of this Jnani is to merge in the Supreme Lord, or in the Brahmajyoti. In the Brahmajyoti, peace. That's called Jnanis. And after that comes stage of Ashtanga Yogis. When the person start worshipping super soul, means inside heart, and he does yoga and asanas, and then he practice. This is the stage when one practices this Ashtanga Yoga. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. So these are the angas of Ashtanga Yoga. So in the Ashtanga Yoga means 8 yoga. So he tries to get some siddhis now. He will try to get some siddhis. Siddhis like what? If there is an apple over there, he can grab it. He can become smaller than the smallest, heavy than the heaviest. These are the siddhis. You can become lighter than the lightest. That's why Prabhupada gave this example that scientists are trying to achieve these siddhis by flying in aeroplane, because you can't fly on your own. So they give you plane so that you can fly. So you are light, you are lighter. So similarly, these are the asht siddhis. They are very potent. Like you can bring any soul in any animal back. They have that much power. So these are the potencies, these are the shaktis you get. This is very interesting to understand, I think. And they do this, the yoga and asanas, by which the body became very perfect, very gentle, but at the same time they focus on the meditation of the super soul, on the Paramatma. Now this is the same thing happens disease of Ashtanga Yoga in Krishna consciousness, where you want to achieve some power. That's called achieving the siddhis, achieving the positions and powers. Again the same thing. Now the problem with the Karam Kand, Karam Yoga, Gyan Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga is that the person is still focusing on himself. He wants to get heavenly planets for himself. He wants to do any activity for himself. He wants to achieve siddhis for himself. That's the problem with all these yogas devotees. Now starts the highest level called Bhakti Yoga, where the person thinks about Krishna actually. And this is the purpose of Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavad Gita, to tell us that among all the processes, Karam Kand, Karam Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, the best process to go to the God is Bhakti Yoga. And that's what Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas explained from the day one to us. That's called mercy. They didn't go into the activities of like worship God, demigods for that many times. Okay, you do karma and then give your results. They saw it's a lengthy, and in the Kali Yuga it's not going to work out. And the best example was Arjuna himself, when he said that Mana Chamchala Krishna Paramathi Balavad Vilam, 634, at the end of the 6th chapter. Arjuna himself said that I can't control my mind, I can't go to the Himalayas, I can't sit like this, half closed eyes and all these things. So then Krishna said that, yes, Ashanshaya Mahabaho means, no doubt, Arjuna, you are saying right. Then get this Bhakti Yoga process. That's why the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita starts with the Bhakti Yoga and it goes till the 12th chapter. This is pure Bhakti Yoga over there. First 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita talks about from Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. But the middle 6th chapter talks about the pure Bhakti Yoga. And the last 6th chapter talks about Gyan Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. So these are the 3 sections in Bhagavad Gita. But the essence of this is to have faith that I can't go to God by other processes, I can only go by Bhakti Yoga. That is the point which Krishna is trying to bring into intelligence of Arjuna and to all of us through Arjuna. Arjuna is just like a sadhaka. Arjuna is like he is displaying the questions which we have, and he displays all these questions in front of Krishna, and Krishna explained to him that basically essence of all there is, it comes in the end of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna speaks very beautiful verse to Arjuna, that if you switch your ego, you do it thinking that you are not separate from me, you are my representative, you are my person, and you are acting on my behalf. When you have this thing, this is the time when you cut all your karmas, all your stuff. That is the switch in the ego, which Krishna asks Arjuna to do. And that is the whole sole purpose of Bhagavad Gita. In the other processes, the person was thinking about one's own desires, pleasure in other planetary system and other things. He was taking pleasure on the sensual platform. Karam Kand means sensual platform. Karma Yoga also sensual platform. Gyan Yoga was on the platform of mind. He wanted to satisfy his mind by reading and contemplating or speculating Shastras. Then comes intelligence level of the Siddhis. Then he wants to satisfy his intelligence that yes, I can control this, I can control that, I can become lightest. Now comes the last level of Bhakti Yoga where Krishna says that yes, engage your senses, engage your mind, engage your intelligence, but give me your heart, and you do it on my behalf now. So give your heart to me. That is Bhakti Yoga. In the Bhakti Yoga we use senses, we use intelligence, we use mind, but the most important ingredient we use is our heart. The verse Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Parayachati Tad Aham Bhakti Upaitam Ashnami Paritatmana. That offer flower, leaf, water, fruits, everything to me. But I am not looking these elements, these fruits and these things. What I am looking? Bhaktya Mama Vijananti Yaman Asimi Tattva Tatya. So I am looking for that bhakti part of in this. What is bhakti part means? Your heart. Where you are investing your heart. So when you serve some Vaishnava, when you serve your Guru, you don't do it on a karamkand level like mechanicalistic way. You don't do it to service to your spiritual master so that you will get a one picture near to him and you can post it in somewhere. You don't do it like, okay, I was there with him and this and that. That was not the desire. Just like when I went to in the beginning to serve Maharaj, so the assistant of Maharaj said, so what kind of service you are looking? So you want a picture with Maharaj or you want to do service in the back end? I can do in the back end. So they sent me some area, I don't know where it was, in the temple Mayapur, and I was rubbing this chandan, that Maharaj will use this chandan for the shilas. So they understood, because a lot of people will come and yes, Maharaj, we are standing next to you, take picture. Yes. That's called karma yoga, karma kind of thing. Their personal desires. Now I think you are able to relate to it. So that's called a personal desire. Like there's no service attitude. Because these kind of person, those who are there to give their heart to spiritual master, they are ready to get chastisement, or they're just ready to even masters chastise and scold them like anything. Still they don't give master. They are the great souls. So that's called, because they have given their heart, just like a wife. Wife has given her life. She is dependent. That's how a sadhaka is supposed to become in relation with Guru and Krishna. That I am dependent on you. I'm yours now. So these living entities, like wives generally don't. Just like I was there in Kisumu, I asked the wife of Budapeshpu, that where are you going now after this, Kisumu? And wherever Prabhu will go, I will go simply. That's called dependency actually. That's how a sadhaka, a soul, is supposed to become. That's how a sadhaka is supposed to become, like dependent. Like Prahlad Maharaj is dependent on Nrsimha. Or just suppose the small child is supposed to come from America to India or Africa, just like we are coming. So if we have a child, then the child don't have to bother about his ticket, his clothes, his food and other things. If he just remain with the parents, he will fly. But if he come out of their association, that's the problem he will create in his life. There is a story in Bible, prodigal son. Have you heard about prodigal son? What matter is it?
As a son who
Left.
went and asked for his share to his dad, and then he decided to go and start his life.
Yeah.
somewhere.
So basically there were two sons. One son was obedient, he was living with the father, he was helping his own father business. But one son, he wanted to live separate and enjoy from the father. He took all his part of money and tried to enjoy it, but he spent all this thing here and there. And one day he didn't have money, his friends betrayed him, and multiple things happened. Then he was just eating the food of the hogs. And one person found him that, oh, you are a son of such a billionaire person, what are you doing here while rotting? Your father is still remembering you. And this guy brought him back to his father, and they hugged each other, they met, and there's a happy life after that. So in this story, this son who went outside, this is known as Jiva, like us, who left kingdom of God, and the Jiva came here. And the person who saw us and have a pity and understood that your father is called spiritual master, who brought us you back to the Krishna. It's a simple story. So the point over here is like, till the time like we live as a surrendered soul to the Lord, we depend on Him. That's till the time you will be fearless and you will be karma free. As soon as you come this mentality that I have some on my arrangements, some on my things, and I don't need God, then that's the time when the material energy makes a grip on you. Then material energy will give you different laws. Like, okay, the Rajagun, Tamagun, Satagun, Metal nature will make you work through her own. Then there's the birth, death, old age, disease. Then there's the punya karma, pap karma. Okay, this whole tam jham is there. Whole complex structure is there. And when it comes to the surrendering to Lord, and he surrender one's ego, one's heart to the Lord, then Krishna gives internal potency, by which you feel joy in the process. Actually, you feel nourishment. You goes. Your heart will dance. Actually, your heart will dance in that. Your body will dance definitely, but your heart will also dance. There's a bhajan. Nachere amar man jayo, nachere amar man jayo, nitai chaitanya bole nachere amar man. What does it mean by nachere amar man? Nache means dance. Nachere amar man. Man means mind. So my mind is dancing. My mind is dancing. My mind is dancing. Nachere amar man jayo, nachere amar man jayo, nitai chaitanya bole nachere amar man. So this is the state when we get it. Natural movement. So in the Bhakti Yoga, he will engage everything over there. So that's called a sense of all Bhakti Yoga. So have you understood Karma Kand, Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga? So I know it's very technical, it's very difficult sometimes, but yes, by this example you can understand how it works in Krishna consciousness also. Like till the time the jiva is keeping one as a center, there will be issues. As soon as the jiva gives center to Krishna and he acts as a servant of Lord, then there is a relief. You open this verse, I think I know it's in the Bhagavad Gita 1869, near to the 1869 somewhere. Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter. Near to the 16. It starts with like 55. One you can understand as my Supreme Lord only by devotion, but can be fully questionable. So basically, the essence is this, that you do things for keeping Lord as the center. It's not just theoretical concept. It's like, how do you see, again the first day we discussed about the identify. How do you identify yourself? How do you see yourself? You see as yourself in connection with the Lord. Like, probably with this example, like engine is there, some mechanical part is there, and there's a nut bolt. If the nut bolt will be outside of this engine, then there's no value of that part. But if this engine is, nut bolt is connected to this whole system, then it's a part, then it's a value. Like this finger, another example. Like this finger has a value when it is connected to the body. But if it is disconnected, then it has no value. Similarly, the jiva, just like another example, leaves. When the leaves fell off, they became dry. But those leaves who are connected, they are green. That's the same thing when one sees one himself in a connection and surrender to the Lord, depends on the Lord. That is the time when he is connected to the Lord and is getting nourished actually. So we discussed about this thing and dealing with the spiritual master, like for ulterior motives basically. So when approaches one spiritual master for gaining some, and there are a lot of people like they want Maharaj, make me GBC, make me this, it sounds very bad, but so they are trying to get the authority power. TP, maybe VP, maybe this, maybe commander. So all these things are there, and actually these things should come automatically to you. The authority should give to you, seniors, and then it's very nice. And you should, as a good sadhaka, one should have a, like this very good heart that I am supposed to serve here and whatever services will come, will come. And then you can do it very nicely. That's how you can understand Bhakti Yoga, pure Bhakti Yoga. So otherwise it's a mixed kind of thing. Okay, questions? Yeah, questions. Yes, please.
So we understand that we are all moving in a journey,
Yeah.
journey of the soul through transmigration. So at what point will the jiva understand that he has been suffering from previous lifetimes? Yet one of the characteristics of a conditioned soul is forgetfulness. How will he remember that I've suffered in my previous life or in my whole existence? I've been suffering, being material.
There are two things happens. First is generally it doesn't strike to jiva. So that time, this is the mercy of spiritual master or Madhyamadikari that he make him aware of his suffering also. That is one thing. So by this factor also he get to know. Or sometimes if he has some brain, when he will try to enjoy it, he get frustrated. This is the time when like he also prays. When it is said like till the time you are not done with this life, fried out, you know that this world is not good for me, and you fried out, like this is the time he prays to the super soul, and super soul arranges representative of himself. Like that's the process, that's the triangle work in life. Jiva prays to Krishna and Krishna sends Guru and Guru gives Krishna. So Jiva prays, okay, like I want to have someone, I want to understand you, I'm fried out. So when this frustration comes from this material world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also explained in Jaya Dharma that when Jiva struggles here and does not get success or pleasure in the things of this world, Krishna becomes happy. Because yes, now he will not attempt this pleasurable thing here, he will come to me now. So that is known as, this world is known as Srishti Leela of Krishna. That here the Jiva is trying and getting fried out and coming to me. So yes, very good, very good, very good. And then he will send someone. So that's how it works. So Jiva, sometimes he himself can, or he prays, and sometimes he had no plan, but there were devotees who enter into their plan and give them Krishna consciousness. So it works two different ways. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
George, yes, Prabhu.
I was asking, can you clarify on Jnana Yoga?
Who are Gyan Yogis?
Yeah.
They don't do any material activities. They are like, they will be like, let me give an example, Gyan Yoga in Krishna consciousness. Like when you sometimes feel that you don't want to do any activity, any service, just give you all the books and just give prasadam, and the whole day you can be with studying and studying and studying. So that's called Jnani tendency in the Krishna consciousness. So where the tendency for not doing the service is, enthusiasm for doing the service is not there, and on mental level or mind level the person is thinking a lot. But in Krishna consciousness we do service, we do physical services. So that's called Jnanis. Jnani type person, like quoting n number of shlokas. Yes, Puji. Okay, then okay.
I have a question, both. You can ask him.
No, they have asked. They are done.
So I'll give them a summary photo of a yoga ladder.
Yeah, yoga, this was the yoga ladder which I explained today. This is, maybe if you have some content, you can give to them. Yeah. I gave the examination of this in 2017 in my exam, Bhakti Shastri exam. What is yoga ladder? So it's a very nice concept, and over the years you will realize that, oh, what kind of devotional service I am doing. So it has a mixture or not, it's a pure. So that's called introspection. A devotee is supposed to do it for himself. That am I practicing pure or adulterated? And if I failed, then I should overcome it. But I should not look for fame, name, glory, positions and all these things. This is not for what we came. Yesterday we were discussing this point that we are a mixture of position and sadhaka. So sometimes the position makes us more dominant than sadhaka. Sadhaka becomes secondary and position becomes prominent. But for what purpose we came? We forget that. We came here to develop love for the Radha Krishna. And that Radha Krishna love has gone in the background and all these things have become prominent. That's what happened. Well, again, operation successful, patient died. That we lost the goal. We lost the goal where we are supposed to go, but we got everything apart from this. That's why, like, our movement got a lot of riches, lot of opulence. We have so many big temples. Yes. Now this is now the time to boil the milk also again. Prabhupada used to say even 1974-75, boil the milk. We got our people, now make them very strong. Make them feel educated, and for what purpose I have given these books. Then again something will happen, and this will build up into another era of like developing, or growing and getting busy into physical achievements, external achievements basically. So yes, external achievements matters, but not only this matter. What matters is something sublime, some devotional quotient in the life of devotees. And it's an individual and institutional wise, both it remains. But definitely we need to do physical and we need to achieve targets also, do some mechanical things. But at the same time one need to see that all these things will sustain only on the sadhana level. If you see the lifestyle of Maharaj when he was there, he had a morning worship first of all. Then after the morning worship, he will come to his room, he will worship his own Shilas and deities. Then he will take care of his health, he will go for a walk, chant and all. Then he will, and while doing worship, he will read and hear something. And he has such a good sadhana, good sadachar, that even if he was meeting with the Prime Minister, so still he was not affected by that. Point is, he was deep rooted in his consciousness. I remember I was sitting with him in Mayapur, and one temple president came to him and he said, and Maharaj asked him, so how many pujaris you have? So he said, Maharaj, we are trying to increase this. Maharaj said, I want more pujaris so that your Lord on the temple can run very nicely. That's why I am sending these devotees to you. And this temple president was sending them off somewhere here and there. He was not happy somehow. So Maharaj said that duty department is the main important department. If you will take care of the Lord, Lord will make everything. So basically for them, department was not just a department. For him it was like he really sees them as Lord. We see them as a part of structural management. There's a difference between when they do management and when we do management. You know, for me also, like I learned this thing, like when Maharaj himself was serving his own deities and said, Bhagwan ka department सबसे important department है. He speaks like that. And they see temple as a home of God, Lord. They see they are servant of Lord. They live for them. They exist for them. That's their identification actually. And for us is like purchasing the dress or doing something and running the department very nicely. That's the goal. But they see it different actually totally. And how it has come, definitely the mercy of Prabhupada on all the disciples and their own bhajan, their own sadachar. And that's how that's their vision. And then management becomes secondary. Maharaj used to say, management is not the right word. Vaishnava Seva is the right word. Management has a passion in it. But when we say it like, I'm supposed to serve these Vaishnavas, to arrange them somewhere, or like, this is my Vaishnava Seva to them. When we say, okay, just like leadership and management, so one totally different identification that I am supposed to control them, organize it, something. No, when you see as a Vaishnava Seva, that I am supposed to engage these 4 Vaishnavas there, 5 Vaishnavas there, this is service I am giving and doing to them. And I am their servant. And that's the attitude of even a spiritual master also. Spiritual master sees accepting the disciple as a seva, that I am servant of my disciple. Wow, this is the attitude actually. Bhakti Sansuri Thakur used to say to his disciple when they pay obeisances, Bhakti Sansuri Thakur used to reply them, Dasosmi, that I am your servant. Yeah. So that's a seva. That's why every spiritual master nowadays, those who are getting new second generation has come into action. So they always say this, that we are accepting disciple because of the parampara. We are doing this as a service. In our tradition, no one became the guru. Like no one sat like on an asana of guru. You are servant of mine. Never. This is not Vaishnavism only. Vaishnavism means, oh, this jiva has come, I am supposed to give service to them. That was the attitude of even Prabhupada, that was the attitude of his disciple. That I am supposed to serve them. How can I serve you? That's called attitude of even spiritual master. And what to speak of us people like who are doing some basic services. So that's called Bhakti Yoga, devotees. That's called Bhakti Yoga. When you think about others, when you think about others' benefit, others' welfare, that's called Bhakti Yoga. When one thinks about oneself, then this is something else. And this is adulthood. Like it's mixed. Still, like why it is mixed? You may be still serving Krishna. That's why it is mixed with karma, karma mishrit bhakti. It is mixed with jnana, jnana mishrit bhakti, yoga mishrit bhakti. But it finally boils down to the Shuddha Bhakti actually. The final conclusion is the Shuddha Bhakti. Initially it has been mixed with some desires, motivation, some allurement, some benefit. Then the day will come when you see in the Radha Krishna Leela, the gopis and sakhis, Yashoda Mai, Subal, Sridham, they are all like equals and friends to Krishna. They don't have any personal motives. You know, so much so. There is a person like Madhumangal was there, and Madhumangal did not belong to like very rich person in Braj, so called. So mother gave him chach, chach, buttermilk. So this buttermilk was few days old and it was sour in nature. So and in the forest every day, when Krishna and Balaram with cow herders, they take the cows, and the cows goes here and there for taking the grass. And in the meantime, the cow herders take bath in the river. They come back. Then they have some prasadam, and they both sat together, and all the cow herders sat together, and everyone could see. So Madhumangal was hiding his buttermilk, and he drank it. And as soon as Krishna saw, he drank, and Krishna went to him, and he was just holding it in his mouth, like this till now, because it was sour. But Krishna, what he did? He went and blubbed him. So the chach came out, and Krishna took it in his hand and he drank. And he said, wow, so sweet, you are hiding from me. That's called spiritual world. That's the play. I can tell you 100 pastimes like this. No. Yeah, they exchange like one the same Madhumangal. One day.
Same thing. When we realize this one, because what you are telling, how this love, like children's, even any children, they don't know each other also.
Yeah.
They meet, they are their friendship, they are playing, even they didn't meet also before anytime. And that is the love, the spiritual. When we realize that one. Now we are which stage and how we realize the work. When we realize.
That's the thing which I was discussing, is self-realization. So basically, this process, this foundation comes through the faith in the Guru and the practices, and then over the time, when one reads these pastimes, first of all get to know all these pastimes, what are the menu, and then one connects with them, and then chant and cry and cry and cry. This is the time when enters into this pastimes. He relates. First of all, you need to study very nicely, scrutinizingly. That's what Prabhupada gave Krishna book before even completing Bhagavatam. Because he knew I may or may not be there, but I need to tell them about Krishna. So he produced Krishna book. Very beginning actually, very beginning. So that's the purpose. And to understand it, to go more deeper, there is Acharya's commentary, Goswamis there, with Chakrabarti was there, and what the rasas they gave, wow, it is like current. I just tell you something like this only, which I mentioned, like, when Krishna was there in Mathura, so Sridham, some of the cowherd boys also went with him to Mathura. When Krishna left Vrindavan, went to Mathura, and Krishna was playing here and there, so this was the time to go back to Maharaj and all, once Kansa was killed. So some of the cowherd boys asked him, so Krishna, when are you coming back? So Sridham held Krishna's hand and looked into the eyes. And, oh, when I'm going to come back? And Krishna said, I will come in 3-4 days. And Sridham asked, sure? And as soon as he said sure, so Krishna lowered down his head. He said, yeah, I will come. So then Sridham said, oh, I will be waiting for you in Bandirvan, where we used to play together. So they used to play together. It happened one time that when they were arranging groups, because one group is led by Balram, one group is led by Krishna, and they make teams. So whoever will be defeated, they will take the other cowherd boy on the shoulder, and then they have to cover some distance and this that. So Sridham said one of the day that everyone will follow this rule, irrespective whether Krishna you are the son of a king or not. So you will also follow. So some of the cowherd boys said that no, Krishna should not do this. He is a king boy, so he can. Some of the cowherd boys said that no, everyone should follow this. So those cowherd boys who were opposing this idea that Krishna should not follow, they said that Sridham, if you will do this, we will not allow you to enter and play the game. And that's so happened. And the next game, when they were playing, they did not allow this Sridham. And Sridham was like sitting somewhere, and he was just crying and thinking that they did not allow me to play with all the cowherd boys. And then he was thinking maybe Krishna is also angry. And then Krishna came, just sat next to him, and he said, why are you not playing? Then he said that these cowherd boys did not allow me to play. They said that Krishna is angry with me. You are angry with me. And Krishna said, no, I'm not angry with you. I'm very happy. Let's go and play together. And then Krishna took his hand and entered into the cowherd boys and they started playing. That's called Krishna. And with the same Krishna, when Sridham asked him, are you coming? And he said, yeah, I will come. But he did not look. Then Sridham said, I'm still waiting at that place where we used to play. And he went there. He had so much of love to Krishna. And then he sat in the meditation and he started crying, chanting Krishna's name. Krishna, 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 Krishna. And the tears were flowing like this and his body all transformed. Because Krishna was busy in Mathura, then went to Dwarka. After 100 of years, he returned, but he knew that Sridham is still waiting for me. Then he came through his chariot, he dropped down from his chariot, started walking, and then came in front of Sridham. Sridham was just still meditating in Bandirvan, chanting Krishna's name, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And then Krishna called, Sridham! And then Sridham was like, maybe thinking some sound is coming from it. Then Krishna called loudly, Sridham! And then Sridham opened his eyes and looked at Krishna. Wow, that's the perfection. And they hugged each other. That's called friendship. That's called friendship. That's called pure love. They were not like Krishna went and he's doing, okay, let's switch on to let's get busy somewhere else. It didn't happen in Vrindavan. They were still like all the Brajvasis like, oh, Krishna did this lila, Krishna did this lila here. They were busy with the katha of Krishna. That's called vipralamba, like separation, in the separation. So that's how they continued actually. And in the separation, you think about person more than when you are in the union. And the person is far away from you, that is the time when you think about this person more. And that's what happened in Vraj. As soon as, even for a moment, Krishna once upon a time, like cowherd boys were taking bath, Krishna disappeared from the bath for a few moments. And all the cowherd boys were looking at each other, where Krishna has gone. And for some moments, it was like devastation for them. And suddenly when Krishna realized that I am the prana of these boys, they are my friends. So Krishna came out from the lotuses and smiled like this. And all the cowherd jumped here and there to pick him up and drown here, this and that. And then they go out, take him back, then massage his food, prepare a bed made up of all flower petals, thick flower petals for Krishna Balaram. When they settle down, then they massage. Then Krishna Balaram, they sleep for some time. Then when they wake up, then cowherd boys decorate them, turban making, so turban and all these things, forest flowers. And they have kalpavriksha. It's not that the trees, like this in the material world, they don't produce every fruit. But in the spiritual world, they can give kadamba, okay, mango, with this champa, this lotus, okay, That's the service of the Kalpavriksha. And that they decorate, they make it very handsome boy. Then they feed each other what they have brought. And after doing this, and then they must be demon, and then they come back to Nandagaon. That's the schedule. Part of schedule. There are a lot of things happen after that also. So thank you very much. So that's called pure love. So when we read about them, when we understand these pastimes, when we go through the eyes of commentaries, then it's some possibility like we are coming somewhere close to this pastime. And then there will be lat, like you can say addiction for reading this pastime. You will be just reading them again and again. So when you read them, your heart will feel good. So that's the process. Simple. Actually, Dinbandu Guru used to say, Krishna consciousness is very simple, we make it complex. But it's just about reading about Krishna. Just like I just mentioned you this last time. So simple to hear. And there's so much tradition. Acharyas have written so much to read for us, Prabhupada has written so much to read. There is a philosophy, there is a leela. When you hear tattva, we are discussing about the tattva, then leela becomes interesting. When we know the position of this cow herd wise, punya, what kind of spiritual credits they must have done, that's by which they are playing with Krishna. Bhagavatam says, with punya. Like how much they must have done that they are able to play, keep hand on the shoulder, like this. So that's the relation. And when you live in this hearing Katha and Krishna, this is the time that all anarthas goes here and there. You don't have to struggle and prove this kind of things. It's the purification of the heart happens by Krishna Katha. That's why the word Shrunatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shrana Kirtana Hidyantastohi Abhadrani Vidnoti Suhastam. Abhadra means some of the contamination in the heart. Shrunatam Sakatha Krishna. That is the power of Krishna Katha. So much so, I was mentioning one pastime. How to overcome Cupid, Kamdev in this world? It's not possible by engaging and hearing. There's a lot of pastime in Krishna Katha when even the Cupid start looking at those pastime. Because this pastime is so transcendental in nature, then they can overcome the three modes of mental nature and Kamdev also. And when we hear or read this kind of pastime, that's the time the lust has gone away. Chakravarti also says that, like lust is like a bad smell, Krishna Katha is like a good smell, flow of air. So flow of air can remove it, and it will be filled with Krishna Katha. Simple. Thank you very much. Take your time. Oh, it's going to be 9 o'clock now. So for your time and energy. So we will meet in the evening.